Nippon Hoso Podcast Station.
Today we are continuing with デスノート or Death Note. 顔を出してしまったことも FBI12 人を犠牲にしてしまったことも負けです。しかし最後は勝ちます。私も命をかけた勝負は初めてです。ここに集まった命がけの人間で見せてやりましょうよ。正義は必ず勝つということを。So in English, the fact that I've shown my face and that I've sacrificed 12 FBI agents are both losses. But I will win in the end. This is the first time I've laid my life on the line. Let's show Kira that we're willing to risk our lives, because justice will definitely prevail. I realize that I only talk with the left side of my face. 左しか笑ってないの。だからちょっと含みの笑顔みたいな笑い方してるんですよね。めっちゃ今口めっちゃ頑張ってあげてるんですよ。
Anime English Club with Sally
Amaki.Hello everyone and welcome to episode 58 of the Anime English Club. I'm your host, Sally Amaki.
今週もよろしくお願いします。
I've just realized this pretty recently, and I've been very self-conscious about this from now on. After I tell you guys what I'm going to tell you guys from now on, I feel like you're going to notice it as well, so I don't really want to say it, but I'm going to say it. I realized that I only talk with the left side of my face.左側の顔でしか話してないんですよ、私。なんか、だから、めっちゃ笑うときとか顔曲がってると思って、なんか、左しか笑ってないの。Like, I laugh like a madman. Like, なんかちょっと、含みの笑顔みたいな笑い方してるんですよね。で、だって見てください。これが、This is me talking very comfortably. Like, this side isn't moving at all. And I'm gonna try to, like, make it equal. Like, めちゃくちゃ口に力入れて、ようやくなんか、口の形的には、なんか平行になるんですけど、めっちゃ今口めっちゃ頑張ってあげてるんですよ。最近気づいて、なんで今まで気づかなかったんだって感じなんですけど、最近気づいたのも The only reason I just figured it out is because the past few days I've been biting my left side of my tongue a lot, and I'm like, why do I keep biting my left side of the tongue? And then I looked in the mirror to see how I was talking, and I was only talking with the left side of my face.I know. And that is why the left side of my face is skinnier. It's because I use that muscle so much. But you know what? Yeah, imperfection is what makes people perfect. Hey, so therefore I am perfect. All right, let's dive into today's episode. Today we are continuing with デスノート or Death Note. So Death Note is a manga series written by Tsugumi Oba and illustrated by Takeshi Obata,which began serialization in 2003. The anime version aired from 2006 to 2007. So the story is, one day, Light Yagami finds a death note with the power that the human whose name is written in this note shall die. And he begins to use it to pass judgment on criminals around the world. Soon, he becomes known as Kira, and proclaiming himself a god, tries to create a new world where everyone can live in peace.However, the world's greatest detective L begins to investigate, leading to a breathtaking battle of wits. Yeah. Honestly, if I found a death note, I'd be like, first of all, ew. It was like a notebook just thrown on the grounds of the school playground. Who knows? Who knows what people do in that playground? I would never pick up something that is left in my school playground. Or maybe that's because I went to American public school. But if you go to an American public school, do not pick anything up from the floor. It is nasty. Okay. So the line we are diving into today is, it's from L, actually. 顔を出してしまったことも FBI12 人を犠牲にしてしまったことも負けです。しかし最後は勝ちます。私も命をかけた勝負は初めてです。ここに集まった命がけの人間で見せてやりましょうよ。正義は必ず勝つということを。So in English, the fact that I've shown my face and that I've sacrificed 12 FBI agents are both losses. But I will win in the end. This is the first time I've laid my life on the line.Let's show Kira that we're willing to risk our lives, because justice will definitely prevail. So this line is from episode 6. 5 members of the Japanese investigation headquarters, assembled at the request of the ICPO, finally meet L face to face. In a hotel room, Al has them all turn off their communication devices and reveals his deductions about Kira so far. Al explains how Kira detected the presence of the FBI in just 5 days and skillfully used 12 FBI agents to kill them. He then frankly admits his own mistakes, yet declares, "But I will win in the end." This scene encapsulates Al's style, honestly acknowledging his own weaknesses and failures, yet showing unwavering resolve. You know what? But in the end, this is going to be a spoiler, by the way. If you guys don't want to hear this, this is going to be a spoiler for Death Note and Jujutsu Kaisen. So if you guys don't want to hear what I'm about to say, I'd say like skip, I don't know, 2 minutes of this episode from here on. Just skip 2 episodes. No, not 2 episodes, 2 minutes, so you don't have to hear anything. First of all, L dies, right? L dies, but in the very end, Kira also dies. So people kind of think that L wins, but like L died. So does that make him a winner? I don't understand. It's the same with Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, Sukuna dies, you know, so everybody's like, yes, Team Gojo wins, but like also Gojo Sensei died too. So like they both lose and win at the same time. Like I don't know. Is L the winner? I think he's a loser. not in like a L, you're a loser kind of loser, but like I don't think he's the winner in this story, you know? Like he died in what, episode 15 or 16 or something? He died halfway through the series. That's what surprised me the most. I thought this whole entire Death Note series, because the very first time I watched it was from the movies, like the live action movies. So yeah, in the live action film or the TV drama, I think it just ends with L and Kira. Some movie, I feel like they show the other characters, but in the ones that I saw, it was between L and Kira. So, yeah, if L dies, I feel like that makes him a loser. But I don't know. You guys tell me what you think in the comment section. I think L is the loser in this case, even though Kira does die in the very last episode. I still think they're both losers and winners. So. All right, let's break down some vocabs. So L says, sacrifice. When does he say sacrifice? So I've sacrificed 12 FBI agents. So sacrifice は犠牲にする、損失。I've sacrificed 12 FBI agents. FBI 捜査員を12人犠牲にした。だから、let's say, I've sacrificed everything to get to where I am today. もう今日この地位になるまで、この地位を手にするまで、私は全てを犠牲にしたみたいな感じの I've sacrificed everything って言ったりとか、あと I've sacrificed everything to be with you もよくラブコメとかで聞くフレーズです。なんか君といるために全てを犠牲にしたんだぞみたいな、よく聞きますよね、アメリカの映画で。はい、I've sacrificed everything. Or sacrifice は名詞にすると生贄って意味にもなるんですよ。だから we have to sacrifice one newborn every 3 years とかは、この村では3年に一度なんか新生児を生贄にせねばならぬみたいななんでそのフレーズを選んだのか分かんないんですけど生贄っていう意味もなります。だから動詞にも名詞にもなりますね。はい、次 lay so and so on the line 〇〇をかける。This is the first time I've laid my life on the line. 命をかけた勝負は初めてだ。How else can you use it? So, I'm gonna lay my job on the line if I miss any more days by going to an idol concert. もうこれ以上仕事を休んでアイドルのライブに行ったら、もう自分のなんか仕事をかけることになるみたいな、伝わりますか？なんかもう職を失いかけるんだみたいな感じになります。I'm gonna lay my job on the line とか、スパイ映画とかではI'm gonna lay my marriage on the line if I go to this mission とか、もう自分の結婚生活をが破綻する可能性があるこのミッションに行ったらみたいな感じの、何かを犠牲にする、何かをかけるみたいな感じですね。My life is on the line, my job is on the line, my marriage is on the line, my friendship is on the line とかですね。はい。 何かをかけるときです。次 willing to 〇〇する意思がある。 We are willing to risk our lives 命を危険にさらす覚悟がある。その他 I'm willing to help you 喜んでお手伝いしますとか Are you willing to try は試してみる気はあるとか様々な表現に使えるんですけど、let's say if you're at a anime convention or whatever and you're there to trade Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh cards, you would go up to somebody and be like, hey, I have this very special card that you might like. Are you willing to trade? はい。交換する意思はありますかみたいな。結構そういう場面でも使います。Are you willing to trade this for this? みたいな。これとこれを交換する意思はありますかみたいな感じですね。はい。Next, prevail 勝つ、優勢になるって書いてあるんですけど、私ここに来て prevail は初めて聞きました。だからもしかしたらあんま使わなくていいかもwin 勝つ、シンプルに win でも全然大丈夫です。正義は勝つ justice will win でも大丈夫なんですけど、調べたところ apparently prevail it implies overcoming obstacles and succeeding to win だからなんかまあ紆余曲折ありながらも最終的に勝つことを prevail っていうらしいです。だから難しいよね。 win で大丈夫ですはい、こういう言葉もなんかあったなみたいな感じで覚えててくれたら大丈夫なんですけど、はい、生まれたってこの方聞いたことなかったです。でも逆に分かんないですね。今聞いたことによってこれからなんかいろんな映画で耳に入る可能性もありますよね。そういう時ありません？知ったからなんか世界にこんなにもこの言葉って使われてたんだみたいな気づきになる可能性もあるのでね、私も今になって意味が分かったのでこの先いろんな映画で出てくるかもしれません。 prevail but you can also use win。 はい、次 definitely 間違いなく必ずという意味ですね。 So L is like justice will definitely prevail 正義は必ず勝つって言ってるんですけど、日常会話でも私はめちゃくちゃ使います。 For instance、are you gonna go to today's party? 今日パーティー行きますかって私が聞かれたら definitely not 間違いなく行きませんみたいな。 definitely not 行くわけないじゃんみたいな。普通に no でもいいんですけど、なんでそんなこと聞くの、行くわけないじゃんみたいなニュアンスをつけたいときは、definitely not とか、if I don't know if I wanna recommend a series to you guys, I'd be like you should definitely watch this これもう必ず見た方がいいよ、面白いからみたいな。 You should definitely watch this とかYou're gonna definitely like this これ間違いなくあなた好きだからみたいな。 You're gonna definitely like this You're gonna definitely enjoy this とかですね。はい、ちょっと強調したいときに使います。 Alright, so let's practice pronouncing this week's phrase. So this week's phrase is 顔を出してしまったことも FBI12 人を犠牲にしてしまったことも負けです。しかし最後は勝ちます。私も命をかけた勝負は初めてです。ここに集まった命がけの人間で見せてやりましょうよ。正義は必ず勝つということを。So in English, the fact that I've shown my face and that I've sacrificed 12 FBI agents are both losses. But I will win in the end. This is the first time I've laid my life on the line. Let's show Kira that we're willing to risk our lives because justice will definitely prevail. はい。One more time.The fact that I've shown my face and that I've sacrificed 12 FBI agents are both losses, but I will win in the end. This is the first time I've laid my life on the line. Let's show Kira that we're willing to risk our lives, because justice will definitely prevail. All right, so looking at the pronunciation, sacrifice. Sacrifice has two C's, but you pronounce both of them differently. I know, it's so annoying. English annoys me so much. Why do they do that? Why? I don't know why we have to do that. Japanese definitely doesn't do this, but sacrifice. いや、本当に C が2個入ってるのにどっちとも違う発音します。本当すみません。sacrifice. So this first C in sacrifice, use the back of your throat 喉の奥でグッて喉締められた瞬間クッってなるじゃないですか。その時の空気が出る感じですね。喉の奥からクッってなってsacrifice はpretend you're a snake。 日本でも蛇の鳴き方って覚えさせられますか？ Do snakes cry, you know the sound that snakes make? Is it like it's not? You guys have you guys have different ways that snakes move? Because in English everybody's like that's how snakes move. 蛇が動くニョロニョロなんですか？そんなお茶目なんですか、日本の蛇は。そうなんですか。でももっと毒持ってそうな動き方、効果音とかないんですね。英語だともうスみたいな感じなんですよ。あ、シャーシャーシャーシャーかもしれませんね。sacrifice。じゃあちょっとこれ使えないかもですね。じゃあsacrifice。まあでもシンプルに simply just close your mouth, close your teeth as well, and try blowing air from in between your teeth. I'm so sorry if you only have like 2 teeth. 歯が2本しかなかったらすいません。なんかめっちゃ空気出ると思うんですけど、ちゃんと閉めてくださいね。ほんとちょっとだけなんかちょっとした穴から空気が出る音ですね。sacrifice です。はい。sacrifice です。はい。Next, prevail. Prevail. I guess what's hard about this? Pre or the veil part? Veil. veil になっちゃうんですね。prevail. It's prevail. Veil. ale のとこですかね。ale なんだろう、ale なんかに似てるな。ale なんかケロケロみたいな感じのケロケロケロケロ、あ、でも本当そうだ。なんかケロケロケロみたいな感じのちょっとふざけた音を出してる時の口の形に似てます。だから prevail じゃなくってなんか結構エイルを発音するときに無理やりなんかベロを前に出そうとする方が多いんですけど、何気にベロちょっと後ろにあってキロキロキロエオエオみたいな、キロキロこのままのキロキロエオエオエオ prevail キロキロボイス作りながら言ったらだいぶちょっとやってみてください。私が正しいかどうか。 I just want to prove that I'm right。 最初ケロケロボイス作らず prevail って言ってください。そうですでじゃあキロキロキロはいキロキロキロ prevail Yeah I saw the difference. Very slight difference, but it works. はい。キロキロキロ prevail ですね。Definitely. So the T in definitely is silent. Definitely. ちょっとちっちゃいつが入ってる感じですね。Definitely. で D も、本当なんだろう、水泳でいう最初のキックが大切みたいな感じで、最初の D が一番結構強い感じですね。Definitely ですね。Definitely。はい。慣れるまでは Definitely で大丈夫です。ちょっと肩打ってあげて Definitely。はい。です。
アニメイングリッシュクラブ with サリー・アマキ。
So continuing from last time, let's decipher more of the how to use it rules from the Death Note. 前回に引き続き今週もデスノートに書かれましたhow to use のちょっとルールを読み解きたいと思います。はい。Every single time, like in every single episode, does the rule come out like twice? I remember when I was watching it, the rule was so long, but本当一瞬しか映んないじゃないですか。私は多分見落としてデスノート間違った使い方しそうで危なかったです。アニメしかなかったら私漫画読んでたから大丈夫でしたけど、アニメだけだったらちょっと本当早すぎてルール分からず言ってた可能性がありますね。But enough of that. So rule number 4. If the cause of the death is not specified, the person will simply die of a heart attack. 死因を指定しなければ、すべて心臓麻痺となる。So, not specified は別途指定されない場合、契約書の別途定めのない限りにあたる表現ですね。So, let's say you broke a rule or somebody accused you of breaking a rule. You can be like, well, it wasn't specified on the rule book. なんかルールブック説明書にその細かく書かれてなかったじゃないですかみたいなことを It wasn't specified on the rule book って言いますね。はい。これ普通の契約書で言うと別途指定がない場合は通常料金が適用されるとかは If not specified, the standard rate will apply とかって書かれているらしいので皆さん目を光らせて海外に行くときは契約書見てくださいね。はい。次。Simply は単にとかただ〇〇するだけ。フォーマルな文章で効果をあっさり示すときに使いますね。So simply fill in the form and submit はフォームに記入して提出するだけですとか。はい。〇〇するだけって言いますけど、わかんない。なんか、You will simply die of a heart attack ってなんか、ただ単に心臓麻痺で死ぬだけですって。いや、ただ単にじゃないですけれどもってなりませんはい。How would I use simply? So let's say I'm trying to teach somebody how to cook. I'd be like, here's the menu. Here are all the steps and how you make this recipe. But you can follow the steps and make dinner yourself, or you can simply just get takeout みたいな。このね、レシピ通りに作ってね、長時間かけて夜ご飯作るもいいですけど、まあただ単に全然なんかご飯屋さんでテイクアウトしてもいいですよみたいな感じの You can simply just get takeout みたいな、ちょっと何かを簡単にするときに言いますね。はい。Rule number 5. After writing the cause of death, details of the death should be written in the next 6 minutes and 40 seconds. 死因を書いた後、6分40秒以内に詳しい死の状況を書くこと。So should be written は、受動体の推奨、義務表現、契約書やマニュアルで品質されるみたいですね。書かれるべきであるという義務のニュアンスがあるらしいです。はい。So for example, all changes should be submitted in writing. すべての変更は文章で提出することとか、should be written は、you can use it a bit differently. Let's say, going back to rule 4, if I told you, like it wasn't specified on the rule book, if somebody starts arguing with you after they break a rule, if they're like, it wasn't specified on the rule book, you can take out that rule book and let's say, well, it should be written somewhere over here みたいな、ここら辺で書かれてるはずですけどねみたいな感じのニュアンスも it should be written here みたいな should be written っていう感じの言葉を使います。Alright, so that wraps it up for this week's episode of the Anime English Club. Next episode, we are going to continue exploring Death Note or Death Note, so stay tuned, everybody. You can listen to Anime English Club as a podcast and on YouTube, where you can follow along with transcripts and subtitles. You can adjust the speed however you want and listen as many times as you need to get comfortable with English. Listening over and over is really the key to mastering any language. For Japanese and English subtitles, go to youtube.com/anime-english-club or just search by the title. And the Anime English Club wants to hear from you. Please let us know any anime you'd like us to cover, or for specific lines, please tell us whose line it is and which episode it's from. Or just any general English questions, we want to hear from you. So please email us at aec@1242.com. That is aec@1242.com. You can email me in either Japanese or English. メールは日本語でも英語でも大丈夫です。Thank you so much for listening or tuning in this week. Next week is going to be the final episode of the Death Note 3-week episodes. So, very sad, but please stay tuned again and see you next week. Bye! From the Nippon Hoso Podcast Station, this is the Anime English Club, hosted by me, Sally Amaki. This episode was written by Naoki Nakamura, edited by Nana Yoshimura, directed by Hiroshi Kochi, all from Waltz Inc. Our executive producer is Shiori Tanaka for Nippon Broadcasting System Japan.